Hey, folks, thanks for joining us for another Hooked on Diesel podcast. I am Paul Wilson, your host. The show is sponsored by Dirty Hooker Diesel, and I want to say a big shout out to Tony, who's not able to jump on today's episode, but he is going to be watching. I'm sure he'll be commenting on it as well. For today, I am joined by Damon Perry from DP Customs. Damon, how the hell are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. Damon, you're one of the people who got recommended to me to have on the show as early as possible. Apparently, a great reputation in the industry, and I understand have some relationships with Dirty Hooker Diesel professionally. But to get started here, for somebody who's never heard of you before, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Damon, like you said, and we're from Fort Dodge, Iowa. And I own a diesel shop here where we focus on, your average diesel repair across the board with Cummins, Power Stroke, and of course the Duramax. And we do everything from manufacturing some products all the way up to participate in local competitions and try to do the best we can, whether it's taking care of someone with an oil change or going out and winning a truck pull. So try to have a little bit of fun and also try to make some products and take care of the local people and people from all over too.
I love that. I love that. Sometimes the small town shops that are able to offer a big time service have a lot of bang for their buck, and being involved in that local community of being able to go out to your local sled pulls and your local drag races and things like that. I always think those are the type of shops that people want to work with the most, right? Um, Now I noticed I was cruising through your page and we're talking diesel here, so walk me through your truck. What is your personal truck? What do you drive, and what's been done to it?
Well, my the shop truck's what I call it. That's an '03 LB7. I bought it back in college when I was doing the program at Iowa Central here in Fort Dodge. And I basically started off as just your this bone stock LB7. And then as I went through the program, I kind of, upgraded some parts and did things while I could because broke college kid didn't have much to work with, but we had some fun with it. And I did my first injector and head gasket job actually in school the second year. And I guess from there it kind of snowballed. I kept the truck and just kept driving it. And when the turbo went out, of course, I didn't want to go back to stock, so I put a upgraded IHI in there, and then kind of kept going from there, like I said, and it kind of turned into what it is today. So we truck pull with it, and we also can dyno or dirt drag race, a little bit of everything, and I could also still street drive it. And last year we made a 586 pass, which is the fastest crew cab Allison out there right now.
Oh
And
shit!
pretty proud of that.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, it's
Okay.
been
Tell
fun
me about
out.
your current turbo setup then.
I'm sorry, what?
Tell me about your current turbo setup. What do you have on the truck for airflow?
Oh, okay. So right now we have, well, since the motor is just now coming back, for this year, we're going to be running a Bullseye S488 with a 96 turbine and a 132 housing. And then we're about to make a custom 3.5 inch aluminum piping kit for it. And I have an on-3 intercooler we're going to try out and hopefully be one of the first Duramax to run that. If not the first, I'm not sure how it's going to go, but we'll try it out. And then, of course, a lot of nitrous. And we'll have some other, airflow products in development for it. And then it has my billet pedestal, the T6 version on it. So plenty of flow there. HSP is working on some awesome up pipes manifolds for me and new prototype design we're going to run. And then SoCal whipped up some nice custom heads as well. So yeah, plenty of airflow across the board.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, sounds like she's ready to go all out. How much fuel do you have behind that? What do you have for injectors and pump setup?
So last year I ran 300s. This year we're going to 400s. And then the pump setup is going to be last year it was 212 extra Gs. This year it's going to be a 12 on the atmosphere, the belt driven, and then the Valley one's going to be a 14. So 12 and a
Wow.
14 400s.
Wow. Okay, this thing's ready to rock and roll. And you sled pull with this or you drag race with this? You do everything.
Everything, everything. Yep.
um
Yep.
I always laugh when I hear somebody's like, "Yeah, I still still totally streetable," and it's an insane. That's an insane build. That's a competition level build. Are you full interior in
Right.
it still?
Yeah, so it actually has, still has all the HVAC stuff, heat, no problem. full AC, middle console still there. I do have custom front seats with 5-point harness, but the back seats are removed from the roll bar. But nothing in the interiors has been stripped out at all. So that's my goal is to kind of have a high horsepower streetable truck just to prove that you can make power and have fun with the street truck and you don't have to gut your truck and run a single cab just to go fast. You can also do it, with a streetable truck you can take to get ice cream on a Sunday or something. So that was kind of my goal. So yeah, it's fully streetable.
Um, I love that idea of like I'm gonna go get ice cream in a. Have you dynoed it? What are you thinking? 1,500 horsepower truck?
So I haven't dynoed it in a few years. Back when I had a much smaller setup, but last year's track times, and then you go by weight. It was around 2,000 horsepower all out with two big jets, and that was as much as I could go last year. I ran that 586, and it was around 2,000 horsepower on the calculator. Um, with it being a stroker motor now and a bigger charger and bigger injectors and pumps, I think it's going to be over 2,000 if we can make sure everything works properly. So it should be pretty fun.
I mean, over 2,000 horsepower. I mean, we're talking. We're knocking on the door of UCC here, at least King of the Streets. I mean, and even King of the Streets now with Patterson setting a record out there at 3,000. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's an insane build. Have you gone to any big competitions, national competitions to compete? Have you considered joining King of the Streets or any of the driving challenges or even UCC?
I have. UCC has been something on my mind for quite a while, and I wanted to build the truck until it was at that caliber, or at least try to be competitive there. I think the truck would do a decent job at it. Just having the experience of doing different events, I think it would do pretty well. The street challenges is what I really want to do. Unfortunately, the one in the Northeast is a little far for me to travel with family and in the shop, but definitely want to do more of those street challenges. If we can bring some to Iowa or bring them around the Midwest, I would love to compete because I think that's where it really shine. And then kind of get some experience, and then maybe head to the big stage with UCC. Um, Last year or 2 years ago, I did compete at the 670 class at UCC and then the no time event. So that was pretty fun. So that's pretty much as far as I've gone as far as competing drag racing on the bigger stage is that. Otherwise, I just go to local track. So.
Sure. I mean, at local tracks, are you just smoking the competition? Are there other guys out there that are in your class that it's a full on competition for it?
At the Humboldt County Dragway here, really close to me, so it's really convenient. When I go there, I pretty much just go for test and tune, and I like to just race myself and just try to beat my own record over and over, and just try to go faster and really try to prove my products, my transmission, and just that's kind of my goal. So there's really no other diesel trucks there usually. I mean, maybe a few friends might show up here and there. Otherwise, it's just me with a bunch of old cars, and I just test and tune, and everyone loves it. It's fun. So that's pretty much the most at the track right now.
I dig that. I dig that. I love the idea that you're just out there competing with yourself, right? It's not about who's in the lane next to you. That's not why you're there. You're not out there for a trophy. You're out there just to kind of push yourself and keep yourself going forward. And I'd imagine that's one of the things that's driven your business model. So can you tell me a little bit about DP Customs? How long have you been open? Why did you start?
No, I've always had an interest of wrenching and tinkering on stuff, and I think it started when I was in college. Working on my own truck really kind of sparked the interest of automotive because when you're in diesel tech at any college or whatever, you have the opportunity to go into agriculture, the semi side of things or the automotive side of things, and I wasn't in the tractors or semis like whatsoever, and I knew that I wanted to go into diesel trucks after working on my own truck and owning one. I knew performance was always like in the back of my head. So I think it started there. And then I worked at a truck equipment shop in Fort Dodge here, and I worked there for several years. And I started working on customer stuff kind of on my lunch breaks and after hours on the side. And I'd run out in the parking lot, do some stuff to their truck, run back in, work the rest of the day, and then work on it after work. And it kind of turned into doing stuff after hours, and then staying up all night long and working two jobs for a while. And then I just had to tell my boss, hey, I'm sorry, like this is what we got to do, and chase my dreams kind of thing. Um, so that's kind of how it started, at least.
That's awesome. Okay, I love it. That's so common. I mean, it almost doesn't matter who we talk to about the whole like there's that transitional phase of where you're doing it for fun and then you're doing it for money and then the money usually isn't as good as your stable job, right? Like if you actually do the math of benefits and insurance and yada yada, it's a big risk to go and jump and start a new business. How old were you when you kicked off?
Ooh, this was 2018. I think I was 20 or 21 when I started, and it was definitely scary. It was something like you just said, not having a guaranteed paycheck is just, back then it was week by week. Am I going to have a job to do today or tomorrow or the next day? And you really had to focus. And I started with, my toolbox in college and nothing. I have pictures of my old shop and just bare empty, nothing at all. But that's what you got to start with. And I think um, that really helped me on later on appreciate what I have now and what we do now. But definitely scary. I remember just my now wife just helped me through a lot of it, and she was willing to deal with me being tired all the time and working those two jobs. And then um, yeah, so I think we got married in what was it 2020, and I think that's right around when I started. I started in 2018, 19. But like full on 2020 is kind of the year where we really got heavy with some diesel stuff. So uh, it's
So
been a
COVID
process for
hits, the
sure.
world shuts down, and you're like, I'm going to start a business. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
that's not good math. That's
yeah,
glad it's worked out so well
yeah,
for
yep,
you. So you
yep,
said your old shop. So since 2020, you've already upgraded shops.
yeah. So um, we were at the old shop from 20 like late 2018 is when I started LLC. Let's see, and then so like 2019, I would say to late 23 is when we worked at the old shop. It was just a 30 by 40 storage unit with heated floors and a bathroom and some LED lights and real basic shop. And we were in there for a while, and we used to be able to fit three trucks in there at one time, and then it turned into two, and then it turned into one with how much stuff you accumulate having a shop, stuff up to the ceilings, and so it was quite the process there. But and then I was blessed enough to be able to buy a building and then have a new shop here. In late 23, we bought the building, and then most of 24 was renovation, and then now we've been in here enjoying the new shop. So
That's awesome. It looks like such a clean setup behind you. I love to hear that. You guys
thank
went
you,
out, you bought
appreciate it.
something, you renovated it. You're expanding this now. Your product line. You had mentioned your own pedestals. Are there billet pedestals for the Duramax? Is that what I understood?
Yes, we saw a void in the market where I had a problem with cracking fab pedestals, and I didn't have an easy way to put a wastegate on my previous setups, and I knew I needed to in order for chargers to live and be efficient. So I couldn't find anything, and that's when I went, all out into investing into a new design where we can add a wastegate provision into a pedestal and make it as high flowing as possible, and that's what we did is we created the T4 pedestal, and that was probably one of the first products that helped put DB Customs, on the map with a product line. So it's been working out great.
That's awesome. All right. And then what else have you expanded into? What kind of products or services do you guys offer now?
So we went from T4, and then everyone started asking about T6. So that's an easy one to say. Is we went from T4 billet pedestal to a T6 one.
Sure.
Um, we have billet drive shaft yokes, a bunch of different random brackets. We have an LB7 fuel distribution block. One of our really popular new ones is a forward-facing AC reroute kit. Never been done before, and I was tired of having to bend my AC suction line out of the way to pull a charger every time, and so I decided to just make a front routing kit with a nice billet fitting. So that's been a great seller. Um, but yeah, we have a ton of just random different things across the website,
It
and
sounds
usually
like a lot of your products have come out of your personal struggles. Like, oh, I was going to do this. I had a problem. There was no product on the market, so I made it. Is that a pretty good summation of what we're talking about here?
every single product I've needed for my own truck. And it's at first I started with I would like to make one of these for my truck, but then it's like it's not even worth it because it costs so much to manufacture stuff. You need to order a batch, and it's like, well, you know what? If we're gonna order a batch, you might as well sell it and make a product line and improve it on your truck first, of course. But yes, every single product has been needed for my own truck and is on my truck. Most of them are, and
That's
we've
so cool.
tested them on my truck and abused them to make it, improve it.
Where I love that idea of like that's so common to me, especially in this industry of like I needed it. That's how this product came to be. There was no I didn't have a dream and was inspired by it. I didn't see a movie and get an idea. I literally ran into a problem and I needed a solution. I think that's what drives American innovation, right?
Yep.
But where do you see the future? Where do you go from here with DP Customs?
I'd like to just continue growing the product line and continue growing the performance side of things. I know it's people say it's a dying thing with performance, but I don't want that to be true. I want to keep help push the performance side of things. So I definitely want to continue with that, but I also want to continue growing the shop as well and get into more fabrication stuff. We've been doing some custom stuff to my truck in the back half, and I want to continue pushing new services at the shop and continue serving the local community and the same customers we've had for years and take care of all these guys too.
Such a nice guy about it. I would have said more money. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
David, it's been such a joy talking with you today. I'm really excited for more people to get to know you. If somebody has seen this or heard this today and they want to follow along with DP Customs, where's the best place for them to find you and kind of follow along with all your progress?
Yeah, so we have a website, dpcustomsia.com. You can check us out there. We have a Facebook page, Instagram page, and then we just started a YouTube channel as well with a few videos, and we're going to keep adding content as time goes on as well.
Well, keep kicking ass and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Not a problem. Guys, girls, this has been Paul Wilson with Dirty Hooker Diesel's sponsored show called Hooked on Diesel. Make sure you jump onto the YouTube channel and subscribe. Listen to the audio version, subscribe there. 2 views for every viewer. That's what I want. Let's vote for it. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you soon.